Good morning, everybody, and good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us for our continued Home Express webinar series. Today, we're going to look at marketing non-QM products to your borrowers. We're really happy that you are here. So thank you so much for taking time out of your day to join us. Let's go ahead and get started here. As always, I will read our disclaimer. The content of this presentation is proprietary and confidential information of Home Express Mortgage Corp. It is not intended to be distributed to third parties not participating in this webinar without the written consent of Home Express Mortgage Corp. And we thank you for your support and consideration. Today, here's a quick little agenda. We're going to introduce the team like we always do. We're going to take a look at the mortgage market today and the future, taking a look at mortgage applications for 2022 and beyond, and then talk a little bit about how you can market non-QM loan types to your borrowers. As always, thank you so much to our panel for joining us today. We have David Greider, our SVP of Wholesale Lending. Again, my name is Andrea Formato. I'm the Sales Training Manager here at Home Express. And we have Ray Menendez joining us. He is the SVP of Strategic Initiatives. So Ray, I'll turn it over to you to say a couple of words before we get going.
Great. Thank you, Andrea, and good morning and good afternoon to those of you who are here. So welcome to our ongoing monthly webinar series. These webinars are geared towards providing you relevant market updates as well as product information that will better equip you to capture more business. First, about us. Home Express started in 2015 as a specialized non-QM wholesale firm dedicated to serving mortgage brokers. The company was founded by seasoned executives who truly understand non-traditional loans and are committed to serving borrowers and investors who may have unique situations that prevent them from qualifying for a traditional loan. We're proud of our evolution from a humble startup company to one of the top non-QM firms nationwide. Much of this growth is attributed to market demand for non-traditional products. However, we've also accelerated to the top of our peer group because of our no-nonsense underwriting approach, our industry-leading pull-through ratio, and our enterprise-wide focus on speed, ease, and convenience. Today, our presenter will be David Greider, who is our SVP of Wholesale Lending. He'll walk you through some of the unique characteristics of non-QM loans and, more importantly, how to market non-QM products to your borrowers. Without further ado, David Greider.
Hey, thank you, Ray, and thank you for all that are attending here. It seems like we have a great group here. And so what I'll start out with on this webinar series is a couple of slides and information I did on a webinar series end of last year. And this is where interest rates were low and all these type of things of what's going to happen in the mortgage market, right? So I was going to thought it'd be great to take a look at what that looked like last year on that presentation, what it is today, and what the future holds for our industry. So thank you all for being in our industry. We have a great industry here, and it's still going to be healthy, even though we saw some news about applications being down. But I think it's still going to be really good, and you'll see some opportunities here with some of these slides here, and where we can pick up some more mortgage business for you. Okay, this is from like October of last year, right? Is running on the estimates about 3.7 trillion in 2021, going down almost over a trillion to $1.5 trillion. So the estimated at that time was 2.6 trillion. Then heading into 2023 is 2.5 trillion. So here's the report I had on the next slide, Andrea. And again, don't have to squint. We're going to send everybody a deck here on this, so you'll get to see the information from October MBA financial forecast. But in the middle section, it had the mortgage duration, especially the types, right? Where, hey, we're expecting it to go from, pretty heavily in 2022, 2.6 trillion, purchases 1.7 trillion, refinances 860 billion, right, in 2022, and that kind of goes forecasting through that, where purchases in 2023 were 1.8 trillion on the estimate. And that's kind of important to see as we start going through that. And on the next slide, I'll show you the most recent forecast from Freddie Mac, okay? Probably can see this one a little bit better, but the makeup has switched, right? Still, you look at the volume towards the right-hand side, the total volume in 2020, 2021, 2022, and 2023, where you can see where 2020 is a big number, 4.4 trillion. It kind of went up higher in 2021. This year, 3 trillion, and then 2023, 2.7 trillion. But really is interesting is this purchase market. Remember on the last slide, it said it is about 1.7 trillion, 1.6 trillion in purchases, where they're estimating now that is going to increase, right? And so when I looked at this, yeah, the rate and term refinances, everybody know it's done, and I have some information on the cash out type of thing. But I'm thinking this is going to be a purchase market primarily. Still have the need for cash out as we go forward, especially with inflation and business needs and maybe college tuition needs for some families. But it's kind of important to see how that kind of changes over a 6-month period with a rising rate environment and some of the things going economically today. So let's go to the next slide. And I kind of took some experts from, from the news out there with Black Knight and Freddie Mac, right? And don't have to read it all. It's just know that there's a record amount of equity in borrowers today. The one side is that is really good, where, I don't think we're in the same category as it was in 08 and 09. What this means is that, they built up a lot of equity. HPA doesn't seem to be too much concern. In certain areas, of course, there are, and there might be go flat, but there's going to be a lot of opportunities for cash out, those type of things, and delinquency, hard delinquency is probably not going to be an issue. And then the quarterly forecast, as you see, even though rates are rising, right? We kind of see the bond market today. But even with that, the purchase market is going to remain solid and actually increase through the rest of this year and in 2023. Okay, we'll go to the next slide. Let's look at non-QM segment as part of that. That's the total global view. Let's look at non-QM, right? So in 2021, we're estimated to be 1% of all the mortgage business originated. 2022, the year we're in, we're expected to go 250% increase from prior year. And I can say that we can see that, right? We're year over year growing in the non-QM from prior year, and we expect Q3, Q4 to continue on that growth with our firm. And I do see other firms seeing that and some new entries into the market trying to grab some of this market share. Okay, and then ultimately non-QM will comprise 10% of the mortgage market. I even saw an article this week about some of the agency in the next 5-10 years may even look at some of the non-QM characteristic loans that they can do in the agency world. So everybody knows this is a good market, it's growing, and we're going to look at how we can capture that, how you can capture more of this business and close more loans. Okay, so non-QM, I just go for this. All this really means when you go non-QM, it doesn't fit agency guidelines. When I talk to somebody about non-QM, especially that might not have done that, so what's the differences? Well, the difference is just like your DU, a lot of the conditions are exactly the same. However, it doesn't fit because you have to use tax returns and they have a good accountant and they write a lot off, right? That's really it. So a lot of the conditions are the same. We're just supplementing that through a cash flow analysis of their business. That is it. So when I look at this, I went to what's 80% of what the non-QM volume looks like. And again, we're a full service non-QM lender, just like a lot out there with some really niche things, but it really comes down to there's really 3 categories that comprise 80%. And that's kind of where I was focusing on this webinar. The first one is a self-employed borrower. Right? These could be your 1040s, your 1065, 1120, but they're self-employed. They're 1099. They could be gig workers, right? Meaning they don't have the traditional, Schedule C type of business. They got a little Schedule C, but maybe not in an LLC form or that. And you'll see a lot of that growing with inflation. Everybody knows the cost of living's really gone up, and so there's supplemental businesses they have. And if other webinars I've done is kind of show the growing number of those that have other side businesses, right? Other thing there is high assets, which we're going to look at too, to help qualify more borrowers, right? Then that next category, small to medium investors, right? And again, historically, before non-QM came out, there's a gap where the only way these investors got loans was from the private money sector, very high rates and points. But that is now a mainstay with non-QM into the debt service coverage ratio, even though you can do income docs, and then short-term rental market, which has expanded over the last few years. And so there's programs to market for that. And there's a lot of borrowers still out there. And I was talking to our VP of credit a few months ago. It was probably north of 40% of all the purchases done in California were investment. And that's still going to go on. Remember, where can you get a return of cash flow, right? Is it stock market today, bond market, or maybe you get a cash flow on a rental property with the rents increasing across the country. And so I see that still a very viable market as we're going forward into the last half of 2022 and 23. And then the cash out. I think there's going to be a legitimate need for a lot of business owners, a lot of people to take care of some expenses on the cash out. And remember, they have untapped equity in record amounts. And I know there's going to be business needs and personal needs because even though I'm a little bit older, I had family, I had kids going through college, and some of those things come in, and they have the ability now to tap into that to take care of some of their family needs. We'll go to the next slide. Let's just take a quick view of self-employed borrowers, right? And as a non-QM lender, and I underwrite, I've been doing this a long time. Really what we're doing as self-employed borrower is trying to see where they deposit their gross receipts for their business, understand the business type, and apply appropriate expense factor, right, based on the business, right? And typically the reason they come to non-QM, it doesn't work for agency guidelines. And believe it or not, we see a lot of these where they're going through agency lender and we get them back, come to us because they have a good accountant, right? And again, this is an underserved market. And I've talked to a lot of loan officers and brokers over the last, few years. And it tends to be if you have 40 files on your desk and you got some rate and term refinances with appraisal waivers, probably going to work on those fairly quick. And they left some of these out there. And so you probably have a lot that you could probably go back to and say, man, I could probably get this new purchase done or this cash out done, right? And then self-employed sector is expanding as we're going there. Remember, we got COVID. People like to control their own schedule, work from home, find other jobs, go 1099 so they have some flexibility. And we've seen that with in our society today in America. And again, I kind of went through understanding the cash flow. Again, you don't have to be experts at this, right? And I got some slides on this as well. What you're gonna do is just kind of understand it. This is a growing sector. It's a purchase market, and there's a lot of underserved borrowers out there because they're self-employed, might have some unique situations with their income, where we've been doing it for over 7 years and can understand that and help you close more loans, right? And the most common form we get on self-employed borrowers are the business bank statements. That tend to be where they keep all their retained earnings and most of their gross receipts come into. But we're allowed to use multiple bank statements on it. Some have a lot of different accounting methods. They use, PayPal, Venmo, how they get paid. We're able to understand that as you go to. So don't think that these can't be done if it doesn't just work on one set of bank statements, because there's different accounting methods out there with your self-employed borrowers. Let's figure out where we can find these borrowers at and what we should do on it. And again, how to find these self-employed borrowers. I always say, you'll see this a common theme because it's a purchase market. Your real estate agents, remember, real estate agents need to get to, their closings done too for their families' income. And they have a good source as they're marking for that. What happens if they have a borrower that doesn't fit? They can't get that pre-approval from Chase. They can't do that. Who do they go to? Make yourself aware that you're able to help out all the borrowers, especially the ones that doesn't fit traditional financing, where they have to go bank statements or some type of cash flow analysis, or they're heavy on assets, and we'll cover that. As we go to the left and around self-employed business and publications, I had a broker who's into last year did a publication in self-employed trucking kind of publication for 1099. And all he did is, but if you're struggling getting your home loan purchase done from a traditional lending because you're 1099, just give me a call. I've done plenty of these, and I'll be an expert and help you navigate through that so we can get your family into that new home. He had 10 applications after that posted within a week. So some of those type of things you can think outside the box and other publications, which would be really helpful. Other thing, bank turndowns and referrals. I mean, I'm a big believer in the referral network, right? You can have a lot of these banks that refuse kind of to do the non-QM or not quite into it yet because they don't understand it. Man, it'd be great to have a referral network so you can take those borrowers and close them, right? And there's a lot of loans out there that get turned down. I think Ray sent me an article today about Wells Fargo kind of getting out of the mortgages and being deliberate at it. What do they do with those borrowers coming? I want a home loan, I'm self-employed. They probably don't understand it. And you don't have to be experts at it because we're the experts at it. We have great non-QM AEs and operations staff that navigate through this. Lead generation companies, another one. Another one is accountants and financial planners, right? Now, if I'm self-employed and I have this CPA I've been using for the last 10 years, and we struggled a little bit in 2020, and cash flow is looking great the last 18 months, and I send it over to my traditional bank where I bank at, and they turn me down, and I have no place to go, I'm probably gonna call my CPA, ask for a referral, right? Hey, can you tell me where I can get a loan based on where I'm circumstanced today? I bet you they have an outlet for that. And it'd be great if they'd be able to call you and you're the referral person they call to on. And again, I believe a lot in social media that you just cast a wide net out there that you're the person that can handle these loans that get turned down from traditional finances, right? If you're self-employed and you're struggling getting your home loan done through your bank, I'm the person to call, right? That type of message. Okay, that's a little bit about self-employed borrowers, where to find them and how to get them in. Let's look at some asset programs. This is going to be big in this purchase market, right? Under Dodd-Frank, there's two ways to qualify borrowers on ATR. One is by income, other one's by assets. So we have kind of two asset programs. One is asset in full. This is not a DTI loan. If they have enough assets, right, cover 125% of our loan balance, you're approved. That's it. There's no DTI. And we do several of these every month to help these borrowers that have heavy assets, maybe can't document income, or they have low income but able to save up a lot of money, right? The other thing we do, we have asset depletion, which we call asset assist. This is where with the rising rate environment, maybe their DTI is 58, but they have a couple $100,000 in some type of stock plan or 401k. We're able to use those assets to add other income on the 1003 to get that DTI to 45, 40, and we can close more loans that way. So when you look at your loans, try to look at it as, is this a good loan? Man, I can't get it done traditional. Reach out and contact us, and we're going to help you find a way to structure this loan to get that deal done. There's lots of ways to structure these loans, and we're experts at it. Let's go to the next slide and say where we find these. And you're going to see this on every slide. Real estate agents, right? Hey, you have the strategies and able to structure through your connections to get these loans done for your real estate agents. I'm telling you, if you get a couple of these done where they're struggling at their bank where they send in these referrals to, they're going to come with you all of it, including their agency stuff. Why go anywhere else if you've got the solutions for them, right? Other one on here, I have estate attorneys, right? Where they might have someone that needs a new home, but have heavy assets, but might not even be employed right now, right? There's loans to do for those individuals on our asset program. Financial planners, right? And again, these are people who probably put a lot of money into their assets, did a lot of savings, but may not have that particular job that qualifies right now, but we can qualify them on assets. And again, just like me, if I had a great financial planner and I was getting turned down by my bank, I would call them up and say, "Who you got a referral for me?" Right? And I just give a story. Just like 4 years ago, I had someone coming over wanted to join our organization, and he worked at a bank. And I go, "Why are you going here?" "I am fed up with my bank." I go, "Well, tell me about your experience there." Had this borrower on my loan application. We had to go tax returns, self-employed. Had 3.8 million in his savings account at the bank. Only wanted an $800,000 loan, and we turned it down. I think that's crazy. I think it's crazy too. That's a good borrower, right? That's a non-QM borrower, right there, right? Again, the bank turn downs and then social media. Just cast a wide net. Right? We know applications are down, so you got to go into a wide net, and social media is a great place for that. All right, non-owner occupied business purpose. And I see a lot of advertisements at this, right? But this is really your small to medium investor. Maybe they own their primary and they go, man, the stock market's not, I got cash. I'd like to diversify, see rents going up, I can get cash flow. That is a great source for these individuals that are trying to diversify, looking at what it is. So I got stocks, I got bonds, I might have some commodities. Real estate should be a part of that, and everybody kind of preaches that. It should be kind of well diversified in your portfolio, and there's a lot of individuals out there, borrowers, that want to get into that market and go, well, I may not qualify. No, you can probably qualify to that if they have the down payment, right? That's really what it is. They have a down payment, they have the credit profile, it's done. So this is a business purpose, and it's the answer to this private money sector where historically they've gone. DSCR is debt service coverage ratio. It's not an income calculation. We're looking at it as a business loan on this residential property. So we take the gross rents divided by the PITIA. It cash flows, great. 20% down, you're in. And if it doesn't, it's a little bit short. Then you're kind of cut back on the LTV to 75. But these go through quick. We have streamlined guidelines on this. This is non-TRID. What if you could tell your real estate agent, hey, I can close all these non-owner occupied within 15 days? Really, all we're waiting for is the appraisal in 1007 for units 216 to come in. That's really the only hang up, because we're quick at underwriting. It gets done in 24, 48 hours and just waiting on the appraisal, right? And the guidelines are streamlined, so you and your real estate agent can close a lot of these, right? Unlimited property zone, for example, we do short-term rentals on this, foreign nationals. And when you contact your agent, again, you don't have to be expert on this. Just go ahead and market this. And I'm going to show you some flyers that we have, or white labels that we're going to be sending out to you as well, coming up on a couple of slides. But these are really streamlined to close fast, and so that your real estate agent can get these done, and you're connected with them going forward. Let's look at where you find these from, right? So we'll go next slide. Again, you get the number one things, real estate agents, right? Realtors, right? Other thing I put on here is go to the left, the commercial loan officers. Well, what if you have commercial officers that specialize in large apartment complexes, big places like that, and then they get a lead for, hey, I got this commercial loan with you for this huge apartment complex, but I also got a couple of 2 units and a SFR I rent out too. Where do I go for that loan? Okay, they may not have a source for that. That could be you, right? So you kind of connect with them. If they have a 1 to 4 unit, hey, let's get those in here and I can handle that. And if you get something that's huge, you can refer back to them, right? Again, it's all about that networking, right? Other thing is property management companies. I have a good friend I've known for 30 years that owns a property management company in Sacramento area. And I was talking to him last year, and he's going, man, the market's great, rental market's going up. And I was just asking him, how many people call you that are landlords there, seeing what they can do because they own too many properties, they're getting turned by the bank? He goes, all the time. Great. I mean, this is a great source for you. And he doesn't want to do loans at this point, even though he's licensed to, so he farms them out to his referral network, right? It's a great source for you to get into that you can take care of needs. So you might have cash out for some improvements, right? Maybe it's cash out to buy another investment. I see that quite a bit as well. Short-term rental companies, that's available. We do the short-term of the Airbnbs, the Verbos, right? Property investment groups, right? Connect with them, that you're a source. International property investment groups. I have a couple of our salespeople on the East Coast that get a ton of foreign nationals that were buying American real estate, as trying to diversify their portfolio into something a little more solid, and they're kind of connected to an international property investment group. Great source. Again, the social media, cast a wide net, let people know you do these and you have solutions for it, right? Let's go to the next slide on marketing non-QM. Just kind of a summary, man. Really all it is doesn't fit agency, right? Our profile of a borrower looks very similar to agency. It really does, right? But call your non-QM AE, right? So don't just say, I can't do it. If it fits what you have internally, we want you to go that direction. What we want you to do is call us if it stops there and I can't get it done. Who are you going to call, right? You're going to call your non-QM AE to help you structure that loan, right? Understand the 3 main non-QM scenarios. Now I get also, what about foreign national? That's part of it. But really, it comes to the self-employed borrowers, your asset programs, and your investment programs. That's 80% of the non-QM market. And align yourself with a strategic partnership with a great non-QM lender and account executive. And I always say this, look at your past applications. Maybe you give them a call, say, why didn't, they didn't qualify agency, can they fit non-QM, and see how they're doing. Maybe they need another loan, right? It's a great resource for you if you look back over the past 2 to 3 years of loans that you might have passed on, might have been too busy or didn't even know that there's options for them, but there is options for them. Okay, go to the next slide. How Home Express can help. Private label flyers for MLOs to market, which we'll show you part of that. Seasoned and knowledgeable sales team. Again, we're not just a new company coming in non-QM market. This is what we built our company on since in 2015, being experts in the non-QM. We're experts at self-employed borrowers and the small to medium investors, right? This is what we do, and we can easily help you and help you structure your loan. We have flexibility and guidelines to meet the client's needs. What do you mean by that? I thought I had to meet the guidelines. Well, we're a true lender. We underwrite to our own guidelines, fund with our own money. That gives us flexibility to make sense lending, right? So it doesn't quite fit. Well, give us a call. It probably will if it's the right compensating factor to it. Other thing we believe in is technology. We have the XConnect portal. This gives you 24/7 access to the whole life of the loan and help you communicate with your account executive and our operations team. We believe in transparency. We answer the phone calls. You can talk to an underwriter here. We're here to close more loans and help you get your relationship, your referral network ongoing, so we have a partnership for life. Let's go to the next slide, some examples. And again, these are just on here for bank statement. We can customize something for you as well. Just let us know what you need and what you're trying to go for, and we'll put some in there. Again, I put a little FHA flyer. And again, we don't want to take your FHA business if you got a house, but we're able to do manual underwrites on the FHA. Might help you close more loans if you kind of know you have a resource for manual underwrites on FHA. We believe that fits in well with non-QM because we're really a manual underwrite expert team, right? That's what non-QM is. And if we can take our expertise in that into the manual FHA, that now can help you close more loans. Then some example of social media posts that we can put out for you, right? So with that, I think we can go to some questions that we have here, Andrea.
Yep, thank you, David. We do have a couple questions. The first one is how do conventional lenders entering the non-QM space affect your business?
Great question. I've seen a lot of that over the last few months because these wholesale agency lenders, they've seen their volume go down and they're looking at, hey, we got a sector of the mortgage origination that is growing. What it did is help us, right? It helped get the market out there. More borrowers know that this product is out there. I was talking to one of our regional managers from last month's production. He goes, man, I got 5 deals, full packages teed up to me because they sent it to a traditional agency wholesale lender and they couldn't close it. Again, we're the expert. We've seen all this. This is what we've been doing forever. I don't know how you take a FHA or agency underwriter into, hey, these are guidelines, not rules, and we can make deals work here, right? So it's really going to help overall. That's why you're going to see the trajectory of non-QM go up because it's more awareness out there with every company. Borrowers now know it, and so you can really capture a lot of loans this way.
Great, thank you. Next question, do you offer lender paid compensation option?
Absolutely. We have lender paid up to 2.75 available for you, right? I'm going to say in non-QM, I'd say 90% of it is done borrower paid right now because they didn't want to add to the rate because the rates have gone up. But we do offer that, and welcome to that. As you sign up with us, you can pick what compensation of, and you can change it once per quarter.
Awesome, thank you. The next question is about service levels. How have the service levels been?
This is great. I mean, our top 8 account executive here, and I've actually known he's worked here 7 years, and he actually goes and helps our training class that we go through the 2 weeks training for those that are new with us. He goes, you know what? No matter what our volume is, our service levels are always the same. It's 24 to 48 hours, right? And it's that way, and that's the way we believe. You need answers. You've got a real estate agent that needs to know, where's my approval? Hey, did you sign up those conditions? Right now, our conditions are 24 hours. we want to provide the best service, and that's what we're known for. I think when Ray talked about the speed, ease, and convenience, that's part of that speed aspect. We need to get you answers right away and respond to you, and that's what our broker partnerships like about us. We respond quickly, whether it's, you know, whatever it is, maybe a condition review too. I need the approval out. We're there for you on that. So we have great service levels.
Great, thank you. Where do you see, or what do you see as the largest growth opportunity in non-QM?
I think it's the growth of the self-employed borrowers and continuing on with the investment products, right? I think as you see the refinance, there's going to be cash out opportunities, but not a lot as much as it has been in the past, but you will see that. So it's going to be the growth in the purchase market with self-employed borrowers and the small to medium investors.
Great, thank you. Does Home Express offer a bridge loan?
No, not at this time. We do not have a bridge loan. That's a great question, though.
Okay. I'm just looking in the chat, and I think that was the last question.
Well, great. Well, thank you. Now I think we'll take it over to Ray to talk about our next webinar and kind of close this out.
Great. Thanks, David.
Yes, thank you very much, David. So next month's webinar is on Thursday, July 14th at 10 a.m. And our topic will be how to qualify more first-time home buyers. And as David mentioned earlier in his presentation, the purchase market is significantly growing. And we all know the reasons why. So it would be a great idea for you guys to attend this call. And obviously, we'll show you how to use non-QM products also to get those first-time home buyers into the purchase market space. So you can reach out to us for more information to become an approved broker, or if you have a loan scenario at www.homexmortgage.com. However, I'd like to thank everybody, and I hope that you all have a better understanding of non-QM loans and how to market non-QM products to your borrowers. As I mentioned earlier, these webinars occur monthly, so feel free to join us each month and invite any colleagues you think can benefit from these informational sessions. In addition, if you look on our wholesale website, we do have a drop down there where you can see all the previous webinars that we've hosted, along with the topics for each of those webinars. So if you still have some more questions about non-QM loans, feel free to go onto our website and click onto any one of those presentations. I'd like to thank our loyal customers who continue to use Home Express as their primary non-QM lender. And we humbly invite those who are not currently partnering with us to join. Again, to learn more about us or to apply, please visit our website at www.homexmortgage.com. With that, we'll sign off. I thank you all and hope to see you on future webinars.
Thank you, Ray. Thank you, David. Thanks, everyone, for joining. Have a great rest of your day. We'll see you next month. Bye-bye.